Yeah, all these big bright smiles on everybody except Alex. I don't know what Alex is doing. But yeah, welcome back to CFSI Cyber Defense webinar number 7, right? We have 9 in total, almost there. Next week is the last week. And it's off with some pretty good stuff, which I will get to at the end of it. All right, so I would like to welcome back these fantastic gentlemen here, these upstanding, fine young men, um, upstanding members of their community and the cyber security scene, I should say. All right, they've graced us with another hour of their time, for 59 more minutes of their time. All right, so today we want to look at some common cybersecurity, not cybersecurity, sorry, common cyber and social media scams. All right, we have a lot of those taking place. I'm sure everybody would have gotten some sort of email or text message or WhatsApp message. Some representative of Samsung is always trying to get me to collect a new phone with gift cards and stuff. Jonathan is a king troll here. He usually has in-depth conversations with them and reverse engineers them to get information from them. On that note, I would like to advise that you don't engage with these scammers and so on, right? Leave it to us where we hopefully know what we're doing, all right? But try not to engage too much with these scammers because you could just never tell. It might be somebody foreign, it might be somebody local, it might be somebody that you know. It's not very hard to get an additional SIM card or even a WhatsApp number or something, even from a different country. All right, so before we get into it, let's just run through the usual rules here. Not the rules, right? Just some housekeeping. All right. Yep. CFSI Cyber Defense, free certificates, free webinars for the Cyber Awareness Month of October 2025. It is virtual this year. Next year, I hope to be able to have these gentlemen with me somewhere physical, most likely in Trinidad, right? And we'll try and do some pretty good demos and stuff for you all, some dark web stuff, show you all about scamming, get some tools, um, invite some pretty cool technical speakers as well. All right, so about CFSI, I'm pretty sure all of you are familiar with this already by now. All right, so we do everything under the sun as an MSSP, Managed Security Services provider, risk consultancy, vulnerability assessments, penetration testing, digital forensics, incident response, ransomware recovery, threat intelligence, dark web threat intelligence, and of course, we are the only place in the entire Caribbean to be able to offer EC Council courses such as the Certified Ethical Hacker, Computer Hacking Forensics Investigator, and the very difficult Certified Chief Information Security Officer, Certified CISO. That's an exam I hope to never have to sit ever again in this life. That was really difficult for me. Um, yep, wrote some books on it. Most of these gentlemen here were technical writers or writers along with these books. All right, so we spent a lot of time and being frustrated by Kali Linux. And I think Alex is going to write one by himself next year. Right, so moving on. So you could find us on LinkedIn. These guys have some very lovely LinkedIn profile pictures. So yeah, just add us, reach out to us if you have any questions. If you just wanna engage in some cyber conversation or something, ask some questions, get some advice, it's fine. Reach out to us. The advice is always free. All right. We have Mr. Alex Sam, big shot of the Caribbean, senior manager for BDO, special manager, special ops manager. I don't know. He's just a big shot for the entire Caribbean. For
Exactly.
Curacao, he's a what?
No, exactly. Just a big shot.
Oh,
A
okay.
big
All
shot.
right. We'll
Wow.
just leave it as Alex Sam Big Shot. I think we should
Wow.
actually put that next to his title there and delete all that consultancy and pen testing stuff there. All right. Wonderful
Fearless.
picture of Mr. Deodat Ganga here. As you'll can see the striking resemblance there. If you look at his titles and stuff, Deo does everything under the sun. He shall now be known as Sir Deodat Ganga for cybersecurity. And then we have the gentleman here, Mr. Jonathan, Sir Jonathan, right? Looking quite dashing here. Jonathan is
Thing.
one of the Caribbean's leading PCI experts, I would say. He's probably one of the few PCI experts, right, with payment card industry. So these gentlemen here are big shots in their own right, and that is how we do it at CFSI, right? We just run the show, right? So back into it now. Let's jump straight into it. So today we want to start off just talking about, how we actually get scammed, first of all, which is through some of the more traditional threats that we've covered in the past six or so, 6 to 7 webinars, right? With phishing and the different types of phishing, like smishing, vishing, um, even spear phishing, and all of these things. Whatever type it is, but how is it that we fall for these things? This is just one aspect. It is growing tremendously throughout the Caribbean in particular, but worldwide, yes, there has been an incline. Um, some interesting scams that we want to talk about. Most of y'all might be familiar more with fake banking scams and so on, but they have the fake lottery scams, and one that's actually growing and is of particular concern in the cyber community is actually romance scams, and we'll get to that in a while too. Right, so we want to look at some current social media scams, the typical WhatsApp scams. So today's webinar is more about introducing you all to the actual scams that exist out there. And then next week, I think it's next week, Tuesday, I believe, we have a webinar coming up on how to safeguard yourself in particular. Um, Not just those of us who might be tech savvy, but for those of you all to better help others out there, whether it be your kids, your parents, your friends. They may not be tech savvy or anything like that, but y'all will be able to at least guide them better. I think most of you all will have a pretty good idea of what to do already, but we just run through those things. All right, so to jump into things with fishing, and Alex and Jonathan are the kingfishers, I would say. All right, because they did this for a living at some point in time. I think Alex still actually does this for a living, to be honest, right? But pretty much it's just a fraudulent attempt to steal information, right? So the cyber criminals will just pretend to be someone you trust or an entity or organization that you trust, your bank, your government. If you trust your government, that is to trick you into sharing very sensitive information, right? So whether it be your passwords, your credit cards, your PINs in the US, you have your SSN numbers, your social security numbers as well, right? The usual issue that you have there is that the emails, the messages, the whatever they use, the way that they go about trying to get your attention, it's usually done with such urgency that it's very convincing. So it might be that you're about to get locked out of something. There's been an error with your bank account or change in your bank account, funds depleted from your bank account, password change, something like that. It has to be urgent, but it has to be a bit scary. And the way that they're doing this now to have a much more effective um, phishing attack is that if you also the webinar with Alex and I, where we looked at AI and cybercrime, they're using AI like Worm GPT and Fraud GPT to actually create all of these phishing campaigns. And unfortunately, they're actually quite successful because all of the typical signs that we would have previously looked for, like spelling and incorrect spelling, incorrect grammar, all of these things, it's actually flawless now. And even if you wanted to take that a step further, the cyber criminals will even incorporate that into a video that looks like someone or a voice note of someone that you may know or someone in authority as well. All right. So the scary thing about it, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in detail too, is that the the um the worm GPT and the fraud GP that you'll find on the dark web, for example, they are they use scrapers as well, right? Scrapers meaning that they will scrape the internet for your information. So if they want an information, pictures of you or information on your jobs or congratulations on your new jobs, they see that you're a very strikingly good-looking or dashing fellow due to your LinkedIn profile picture or something like that, and they try to reach out to you, whatever man. I don't know. They scrape the internet. It's not just LinkedIn, but it's everything. Your TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, your Twitch, your streaming accounts, YouTube. Wherever you have an online footprint, it can be used against you, right? So this is what you have to be careful of. And the pictures that you have for your profiles, of course, anybody could take a screenshot or save it or take another device and take a picture of it because in some cases you can't take screenshots anymore. But what's to say someone doesn't have another device with a high-res camera and they use that to take a picture, clean it up a little bit with some editing tool, and then be like, right, I am now Jonathan Mabe. So,
Actually,
Johnny,
yeah. I was actually gonna say there are tools like PMIs out there that you just take a picture of somebody and it will scrape the entire net for you, totally automated, and it will
sorry,
find where
what was the name of the tool? Sorry,
PIMIs, PIM eyes.
Pim
Eyes.
Eyes. Not
Yeah.
pimp eyes, but pim eyes. Okay.
You'll actually just go across the internet looking for pictures of where
Mhm.
you occur on those sites. And yeah, I mean, you just probably look for a picture of, let's just say Dale, take a screenshot of him here now because he doesn't have a
I
LinkedIn
was
picture,
I was
and
only
just find
receiving
one
them that.
or
Yeah.
something. And yeah, from there you just make the links and you just find out that he goes to, I think we did this in one of the webinars before,
Yeah, yeah,
Chapter
yeah.
11,
He
On
hosted
me.
and
webinars, yeah.
that he shops at Price Mart. So I mean, yeah, it's pretty pretty insane the kind of stuff they could do. And that was a couple years ago. So I can imagine right now.
Mm, that was 2021. That was 4 years ago.
Yeah. So
And
imagine
then when
that
you start using
with AI and all that.
some of the other tools like Sherlock, which will scrape to see what is the user, what sites you have a username on, and then you can actually go
Mm.
digging a hole with the PMIs to actually get those pictures.
I think
And
I
this is why,
incorporate that into a social engineering campaign. You actually have, all right, well, let's just say it's older account that they used on, let's just say, again, just call a name here, like ICQ or something like that. All that doesn't exist anymore. I
eh,
think so. But you just send a fake email to say something about, whatever it is, and you just catch somebody. So,
I was gonna say high five.
well,
high five was nice actually. So like high five.
Yeah, but high five shut
Um,
down like how long now?
but this carries me back to a point that I made before, where I was telling everybody that you should actually have separate emails now for your social accounts and your banking accounts. So um, like one of my friends, if you have like vdokran or something at gmail.com for everything under the sun, but you might want to change it to something else for your very personal emails and for your banking details and stuff. Because the email that you use is people are so attached to their email addresses because somehow it's the perfect email and this is what they want with the shiva.parasram or your exact name and stuff. But that's actually a very bad thing now. It's a terrible thing now to have your name associated with your email because it's just that much easier to guess that if I wanted to send out a phishing email, it's like jonathan.maber, deodat.ganga, alex.sam, and I think Google doesn't even recognize the dot. So you just have to put
No, it
first name,
doesn't.
last name at gmail.com, and that's it. All right. So it's a good idea for you all to actually have separate accounts. We'll cover this again next week, Tuesday, um, when we look at how to protect yourself. But just throwing that out there because what these guys are talking about there with the harvester programs, all right, you have a lot of tools that will go out and harvest your socials and your social information and stuff now. And when you include AI into it as well, it is way more convincing, right? According to the FTC, as you see there on the slide, it's 40% more convincing now. That is just this year, right? We almost at a close to this year, so imagine what will come next year, right? The biggest threats I've seen this year were actually AI. It came faster than I anticipated. Um, but it'll just continue to get worse, right? As because I wasn't expecting this kind of cybercrime to be incorporated into AI until like maybe 2028, 2029. But here we are, There's not much we could do about it. So yeah, you guys take this now with I know you'll have different stories and experiences.
But Dale looking for one of them.
You're quiet.
Yeah,
Dale looking for one of them.
the, the bank alert one, that was something that was prevalent. I think it's still going on.
Yep.
Right now.
Never ends.
They take in like Republic Bank, they take in Republic Bank and just keep changing the domain every single time. People not reading
Yeah.
that, they just reading
Yeah.
Republic Bank. And then there's something pretty interesting I saw. It's something that Alex actually taught me. You're looking at letters. You might be looking like at an A, but it's not actually an A. It's a special character looking like an A. And you'll have the exact same URL, same domain, everything. But when you click on it, it's looking exactly the same. And then, I know a lot of people that have fallen into that trap already. There was one recently, Alex, I think we were talking about with same Republic Bank where they replaced the A and I think the
Yeah.
R.
The A and R they use instead of using the Latin characters, they use Cyrillic characters instead. So the R looks almost exactly the same, and the A have like more curviness to it, and that's pretty much the difference between how it look. But when you look at it like on a URL, like on a mobile app or something, you would never gonna tell that difference because
Yeah.
everyone just like mobile phone and boom, move along. Click.
That's why you need to vet the URLs, check the link first, make sure it actually routing you to the legitimate link. And then no bank should be asking you for things like passwords, usernames, or asking you for
Nobody,
pins.
nobody should be asking you for that. No company would actually ask you for that. So
Yeah.
if when you have
The
people asking for that, red flag.
Yeah, I tell a lot of people is like, why would the people who have your account ask you for that information? They're not gonna ask you to
They
provide their
already have
account
it. Correct.
information.
Correct.
They already have it.
And I think the problem how a lot of people get caught is that they do this over the phone a lot. To say that they call it
Yeah.
from some certain bank and they say, okay, well, before I continue, I just need to ask you a question. And they ask you a bunch of sensitive questions. And then I usually tell them, well, I don't know who you are, right? I don't know this number. I don't know who you are. And you're asking me to provide sensitive information. Is there another way that I could verify who you are and you could, and we could take it from there and stuff? At this point, I don't even want to email any of my
Mm-mm.
documentation because let me tell you all about something. A couple students of mine, they applied for some positions. They got through with the jobs and they were in the energy sector. So I had to, well, cybersecurity in the energy sector. And they wanted me to verify that, about them as a reference and stuff. And I have to sign a document and also send my ID with it. So I told them I'm not comfortable with this, and they said, well, if I'm not comfortable with this, they have to pull the reference and stuff there. So I said, no problem. All right. I said, I'm a risk consultant and I do this stuff for a living. So you just need to assure me that my signature and my ID will not be used. It will be following all best practices. It will be encrypted in transit and storage. Who is going to view it? Who has access to it? Who has access to this email to which I'm sending it? And they couldn't answer any of those things. So we had alternative ways for me to go ahead and just sign and stuff. So on sign-in documents as well, I do not ever use my real signature and scan it. So go online, they have a lot of signature generators. You could just try and draw one if you have a stylus with your phone or something or tablet, or you could just use your mouse and draw one. It could generate a signature for you. So every signature that I have out there is not my signature. That's a auto-generated signature. So far, we look at you have to think about using a different email, and for your signatures and stuff that you have to send, to documents, you should think about using a generated signature. Dave, you remember that one that we use a couple times for, was it DocuSign?
DocuSign, DocuSign,
Yeah,
yeah. Most of
yeah,
the financial institutions moving towards DocuSign because
right,
one, I mean, it introduces non-repudiation because you can't say you didn't sign what you
correct.
signed,
So
and then it's
DocuSign
not
takes
like
it a step further than you
yeah,
just coming up with your own signature. You can actually say that yes, this is attached at least to the email address of the recipient, and based on what email was sent to them, we have a signature there, right? So DocuSign is a pretty good way to go ahead and well, not sign, but at least have provide some sort of official signature. And that's one thing via emails. But like Alex was saying before, with the text messages that we get these days, everybody just has their phone on them, and sometimes you get the alert, or you feel your phone vibrate, and you just open it up to see, and you see the notifications. You might click on it, automatically open it up. That's just the way we work right now. We have like mobile overload and everything, all the data we have access to too much data at the same time, and we are so accustomed. You just pick up your phone, you look at it, you click on it, and what's this, what's that. All right, so call somebody, message somebody. If you have my number, message me and ask me. I will tell you, screenshot it and let me see and stuff. But with SMS, it feels a lot more personal because we think, okay, well, a lot of people could get our email address, but maybe not many people have our phone numbers out there.
Phone
So that's
numbers.
one of the ways in which they get us there. So you have a 328% increase since 2020 over the last 5 years. That's kind of mind blowing a little bit. But as the last point says there, unlike the email, we don't have filters and yes, I have antivirus on my phone. I use Bitdefender antivirus on all my devices actually. but it still doesn't have the type of filtering mechanisms that you would get with email. So a lot of stuff gets past your WhatsApp and your SMS and even the chat that you have in apps. Right, guys, if you want to add here one time, feel free.
That's why a lot of people. So I call out, let's say for example, using SMS as two-factor authentication as a risk, because people could, same thing as you said, SIM swap. They could intercept the messages and whatnot. SMS, I think, and Alex could back me up here. SMS is probably the most prevalent way that
Mhm.
cybersecurity incidents are happening now. Personally, for regular people. And as you said, people just pull the notifications and click on your mobile phone. I just watch notifications. I go into my actual messenger services and see, and if I don't like it, don't know it, I just ignore it. Legitimate people WhatsApp me and I ignore them because I don't know this number.
Pretty
Yeah,
much
it
because
goes back to what she was saying. It's just a whole
Mhm.
bunch of overload. Yes, bombarded
Yeah.
with notifications, and you just click. So
So just before you click, just take a couple seconds, right, and just relax.
Think
Make sure your
before
blood
you click.
pressure. Yeah, think before you click. Just make sure your blood pressure not high like me and stuff, and just keep watching through everything quick. You can be like, oh, another notification, whatever. Just relax a little bit. Try not to panic because the minute you panic, that's it. It's game over. Once attacker gets you to panic because of a message, a SMS, a WhatsApp, a email, whatever, voice call. That's it. It's almost game over. And you have a lot of incidents within the Caribbean. All the banks will actually tell you that you have people that still fall for the types of fraud that we get from the email saying that, you have some prince that needs they wanted to give you 5 million
$5,000.
US, but you have to
Yeah.
send them $1,000 first or something like that. Um, I don't know how many times in a week I get stuff from UPS, TT Post, DHL saying that my package is delayed, my package is delayed. I pretty much order everything with web source. If I get something from web source saying that my package is delayed, but the thing is, I wouldn't panic. I'll just give them a call and wait for a while, listen to some music, and you ask them. You can email them. So on that note, that's what you're supposed to do: call, email, talk to them. Right? Hopefully, it's the right number that you're calling and stuff. I got that unpaid tool thing a good few times already, and I mean,
yeah,
it just makes me
yeah.
laugh because we don't really have highway tax yet, thankfully, right?
You do have
Just
toll
realize
roads
that they
in
get
the
useful
Caribbean.
information, right?
Although if it was up to that guy, I'm sure he would want to tax that too. Um, you have everything being AI enhanced, every single. It's just so much easier. Like Alex and I were talking about on the webinar last Friday, right? You could pay on the dark web is what, 50 US, between 50 and 100 US, and it will create an entire campaign with all the coding and all the examples, all the phishing emails. Even if you want vishing, voice and video and stuff there, it will do everything. So if you're on your laptop or your desktop, it's easy. It's a little bit easier because you can take your mouse and hover it over that. But on your phone and stuff, you can't hover. You just click and well, that's it. So what I would recommend is please install some sort of reputable antivirus. Don't click on an antivirus link that somebody would have just forwarded to you via email or WhatsApp. Go to your yeah, what is the Apple Store or the Play Store, whatever it might be. Avast is good, Bitdefender is good. Sorry, Joe?
I don't know, just saying, yeah, don't use McAfee free.
No, no.
No, no, no. That one I would wholeheartedly say don't. Don't.
McAfee and
And
Norton
McAfee
just
coming as bloatware on all devices, and
I
people,
think they have some like 50 or 100 year contract with some of the computers, the big brands, so you will always get that waste of time thing that only lets you know after you're infected. It doesn't really protect you from anything.
Yeah.
Um, the two that work really good for me would be Avast and Bitdefender, but you're free to try out. I have the paid version. I'm not telling you to buy the paid version, but I just got a good deal for Thanksgiving last year, so I'll probably have to renew this time. This is the new one, the voice and the video phishing, right? Alex mentioned a little bit about this in the past, but this is where it gets very tricky, and this is why I don't trust the calls anymore, saying that they're calling from this, that, or the other bank or company. Because I can't see you. Don't know any information about you. I just have a phone number to go on, and then sometimes if you try to look up phone numbers, it's a bit difficult, right? So even those sites to look up phone numbers, a lot of times you have malware on those sites and info stealers on those sites. So you have to be so doubly careful because they know the whole world wants to put in a number and be like, who's calling me? Who's calling me? Because a lot of times you get an unknown number, you don't answer it because you don't know who it is. You want to know who it is, so you go to one of those sites to say to try and determine who the number is, and they might ask you to sign up with some credentials or log in with your Google account or pay, and you have no clue what you actually signing up for there. Alex, I don't know if you just want to give them that scenario again with the bank CEO or somebody who was video fished.
Or the team's call that occurred. Yeah,
Teams
so this
call, yeah.
was this was Hong Kong, and I still can't remember if it's the executive assistant or somebody, but effectively what it was is that they got invited onto a Teams meeting, and the Teams meeting was a video call, and they were talking to the CFO. When truth in fact it was not the CFO, and they approved a $25 million transfer, and it went through because they were told by the CFO so that yeah, it's fine. You have all permission to go ahead and do it. And they lost $25 million.
That happened in the
That
Caribbean
was
too. We're not gonna call the name of the bank. Please don't call the
no,
name of the bank. Right?
no,
But
no.
it happened in the Caribbean very recently too, because of, it wasn't even a vishing call, but it was something less. But it from the information that was disclosed by media reports is that it just was not true official channels. But that's one thing where you have official internal communication or people with different messengers and whatnot. But this was actual video, right? So
Yeah,
imagine you have a lot of content out there. So for someone to do video fishing with us might be quite easy because if they have so much video footage of us on this channel. You're welcome, guys. But you have a lot of people who have put out content on like TikTok and stuff like that. So for us, it might be a bit more difficult because it's most likely from the chest up. But if you have a lot of content on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and you have a lot of action with your arms moving and the entire body and a lot of expression, then you're probably a little bit more prone. But that's only for now, because by the time next year rolls around, it will really be that they could just take one single picture of you from anywhere, even your ID or something, and that's it. Just use that to generate. Right now, the way that we could sort of distinguish if a video call might be fake is that the facial movements are always a bit off. It always looks like it's buffering a little bit, and
yeah.
the eyes might be moving different directions, or
The
the,
lips,
the
the lips is the biggest giveaway. You need to
yeah.
look at it. It
There's a
looks
few
like
things you
somebody
can look
with
at.
a stroke. That's the best
Yeah,
way I
Yeah.
can
yeah.
describe it.
Like half the face would
So
be moving
Yeah.
out of timing.
Look at the corner of the lips. If you see hands, look at fingers. For some reason, AI is still having trouble with fingers.
yeah, it
Um,
can generate it
I
correctly.
don't know why.
If
That's AI journey.
if you're talking to you're talking to a male, the AI still can't get the Adam's apples to
Yeah,
move
yeah,
correctly
correct.
when they're speaking. And one of the things that's a dead giveaway for AI is hair. They could not get the hair done correctly either because nobody hair is that perfect. There's always slight strands sticking out. But even with Dio's perfect hair, like if you shine a light behind Dio, you're gonna see like one or two like just sticking out a little bit. Very fine hairs, and AI gets everything perfect. So
Let
yeah,
me let me just interrupt you quick, right? Because I just got a comment saying that Dio was actually the most AI looking out of everybody in the webinar. Just to add to that comment itself, right? So
A good example as well, right? If you look at I think it was the Will Smith eating spaghetti. It came out
mhm.
a couple years ago, and if you look at the before to what it is now, is I mean, it's ridiculous. Just imagine 1 more year, 2 more years. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty hard to try and pick up on those things.
It will almost be impossible by 2027, I think. And because I'm putting it a bit out there, still being conservative. So maybe by the second quarter, who knows, of 2026, because we're not too sure of what's actually in development with some of these tools like I mentioned, Chat GPT, not Chat GPT, Worm GPT and Fraud GPT. Those are just two of the main ones that you have out there. Just like how on the surface web or the regular internet you have um ChatGPT and Grok and Claude and stuff. So on the dark web, those are just the two most prevalent ones there. But it they could. I think sometime a couple months ago we saw that one of the High Court judges, I think Justice Frank C. Prasad or somebody, he was victim to something like this where someone sent I think it was a WhatsApp, if I'm not mistaken, either WhatsApp or email. I really can't remember, and it said that they were in need of funds, and I think he transferred something like 5,000 US for them, right? So I mean, just as an example, you close if Dale. Actually, I think this is something we would believe if we get a message from Dale that he's stuck in Haiti because Dale does some very questionable things sometimes, right? So,
Listen to
if
me, life, right?
I think Alex has been to Haiti if I'm not mistaken too. I don't know. So
I have.
yeah,
I
my
have.
friends, my friends different. So Johnny don't get out of penal much, so I wouldn't too much
For
believe
now.
this. Most of us, if we tell you, yeah, mommy, we stuck in Haiti, we get a message saying, boy, why are you so stupid or something like that. But it takes it from the corporate level to the personal level, and I think that's the direction where a lot of malware headed, even ransomware, right? Instead of targeting the corporation, the company themselves, they actually try to target the individuals. And we'll actually, I'll go a bit further into that when we look at the romance scams, I think in the next slide too. Let me just check the time. Oh, we're doing good. All right, so lottery
You must be
scams is one
scammed,
thing.
yes.
Any ever win anything over the internet or WhatsApp?
I know one person. I know one person. They got the green card lottery, and they did
Was
actually, it was a legit
real?
one. It was legit. This was like 15 years ago. Like 15 years ago.
Oh well,
But
okay, all
only
right.
one person.
Well,
Only one
I mean,
person.
like in recent times, over the last 5 to 10 years, I don't know anybody that
You
win
know, anything
anything
free online is never genuine.
after
I still
freeness
waiting on
is
my
Nigerian
trouble.
Amazon. I still waiting on my Amazon gift card, my $25 gift card.
Nigerian prince wasn't real then.
Fuck off.
Unfortunately.
Shucks.
All right, but you have anything with lottery, even when you browse in sites, you always see these ads coming up with Canadian lottery and US Visa lottery and stuff.
Mhm,
They particularly know that there are high numbers of people from certain islands in particular, and certain countries, not just islands, applying each year. You could get these stats online as well. So they would know, okay, let's
mhm.
target people from Trinidad and Tobago, for example. Right? And to begin with that last point, there no legit lottery will ask for upfront fees, right? Nobody will say, okay, well, yeah, you want so and so, but you have to give me stuff first. So this is
To add
something
to
that, sorry,
that,
Dave, go ahead.
yeah, to add to that, if you've never entered something,
Why you
then why you're winning something, right?
Why?
You never know, somebody could have entered for you.
Yeah, nah. Tell me about it, please.
We could enter Dale in an Angostura competition, for example. We're just good friends like
Yeah,
that.
that's rigging.
So let me tell you all a bit about this digital age with the romance scams. There was a top, I think it was an accounting firm, and a secretary was employed there, and she had the whirlwind romance, perfect romance and stuff, was engaged and stuff. She was with some guy for, I think, going on to 2 years. They were engaged, they had plans to get married and stuff like that. And every second or third Tuesday for the month, he would visit her and bring lunch for her and bring flowers for her. It was always some massive bouquet. And he would always surprise her by her desk. Of course, it wasn't that much of a surprise, but everybody in the entire organization, multi-story organization, would expect him to come with different flowers and, they were the perfect couple and stuff like that. Lo and behold, some investigations were carried out and he was arrested because the company, he was actually defrauding a couple companies at the same time by engaging with the secretaries of some of the top officials in the organization because of course they would have access to sensitive information. But what he would do is that whenever he goes and he puts the flowers, the vase and stuff by her desk, it would always be close when they pull back the camera footage. It would always be close to her desktop. And the front of her desktop was facing her where she was sitting. So the back was open. So sometimes if you go to financial institutions and stuff, you might still see this kind of stuff there where the back of the computer faces you at the counter or whatever. So he would just lean over and he would have a little USB device, keylogger that would be plugged in and it would record all the keystrokes and not just keystrokes. Keyloggers, yes, they could use keystrokes, but they could, sorry, capture keystrokes, but a lot of them could take screenshots. Some of them even have Wi-Fi capability, so you don't have to keep going and unplugging and replugging as well. But it captures every single thing on the screen. So eventually what they found out is that he was using her to get all the information for the top management and stuff. I mean, it's a very terrible thing. It is really inhuman there because of course that's a life ruined right there. So but it has happened. And what you find now is that on LinkedIn, you have articles, a lot of articles being written about this. You have so many professionals that are high up, you realize that these people are incredibly busy, right? If any of you all know me outside, you know that I'm forever working day and night, even on my phone working. The only time I'm not working is when I'm explicitly playing with my son, and that's it. But other than that, I work some ridiculous hours with the jobs that I have and the consultant. But people like me would be prime targets because you see the profile pictures that you put up as well, they could be very difficult. So if you, for example, go on, what would you have like Tinder and stuff like that, and you look for some of these officials there who use their name, and you realize, okay, well they're single, and you go digging deeper and deeper and deeper, and you use some of these tools that these guys have spoken about here today, and you target some of these business officials. Why? Because they don't have time to socialize, right? The only time I get out much is probably when I have to go and check some of these fellas, or go to the grocery or doctor's appointment with my son. And that's about it. I don't socialize or go anywhere. And that's how it is for a lot of us out there, in the professionals. And then sometimes too, a lot of people just don't socialize anymore because that's the way of, of having everything online and you chat online and date online and whatever have you. But um as the first line there says, right? Wealthy expats in Barbados seeking connection. These are things that actually happen, right? And then you how hard is it for somebody to just catfish somebody else? And it's again, it's a whirlwind romance, so everything is perfect, and then suddenly I'm in a bit of a jam, and I need so and so money or Bitcoin or a gift card or something like that. Can you help me out and stuff? So in the Caribbean in particular, you have what we call the sweetheart variant. It's up by 25%. And it's not just on um, those apps and stuff. It actually switched across to WhatsApp. Everything is WhatsApp now. But the problem is that you have the role of AI into it, where you have the deep fake video calls almost in real time, where it's actually a very fake person that you're speaking to. Sometimes it could even go all the way with movie production and have green screen behind them and stuff, and it's image superimposed onto their face so that they could answer real time. But there's no need for that anymore because AI is actually doing all of that real time. um Even when you look at some funny videos now on Instagram and TikTok that are generated by I was looking at some stupidness this morning where a cat had a shotgun, and was shooting the door because
The front door.
the owner played with another cat. It's hilarious, absolutely. But it was looking so real, right? Because even the
Listen,
recoil of the gun and everything, and the cat was on the ground, and the cat was fighting to grab back the gun. I don't know. It's a stupid video. It's really funny, but that's why I only saw it this morning. But I mean, imagine that's just a joke, and it looks so real, right? It's really hard to discern. So imagine what you could do with a paid campaign if you use things like Worm GPT, Chat GPT. So yeah, guys, I don't know if you all want to chime in here on if you all fell for any romance scams at any point or anything, or know about somebody who might have.
funny enough, funny enough, the romance scams is now kind of building up in the Caribbean,
Hmm.
but it's real popular in the Asian countries. It's extremely popular to have this happen in the Asian countries. And I think that goes back to the point that you're making, Shiva, about the socialization component of this,
Yep.
because the Asians, they are generally known as workaholics, so they home, work, work back to home. The social life is very lacking between us, so any means to get that interaction they take.
Hmm.
So it's really, really big across in the Asian side. That being said, that doesn't mean it can't happen across in the Caribbean region, though.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Exactly.
I
I
think
mean,
since
one thing
since
you're saying there,
COVID,
Alex, is just
What's that?
I think I saw an article the other day is where I think it was in Japan, people actually paying like $10 or $15 for a hug from a stranger.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So fathers
it's
for
gonna
this.
happen. Yeah.
Yep.
Time to go to
Yeah.
Japan. Make some money hugging people. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Walk around with that big
And yeah,
sign.
no, there's like huge billboards advertising it, and you can get like a boyfriend for the day or a girlfriend for the day, and nothing intimate. You just spend the day with you. That is literally it. You spend the day with them. They go to lunch
Yeah,
with you. You
yeah,
get to
yeah.
vent with them. That's it.
Because of the
That's it.
company, it mightn't actually be anything sexual at all, but just companionship to have somebody eat lunch with you or
It's,
do stuff
it's
with you or go shopping with you.
since COVID and more
Correct.
people working from home and whatnot, we have a disconnect from
Mhm.
socializing and not everywhere like Trinidad where we could walk out the road and go and drink a beer by the bar. Um, with Johnny. Um,
Mostly
yeah,
black beer.
but yeah, but I mean, people more. I mean, I work from home. I don't go nowhere. I don't do anything Monday to Friday. Just sit down behind a PC, watching emails, doing risk reports, talking to Shiva. Um,
Yeah.
Sadly.
that's it. I mean, how often do we see each other face to face
When
anymore?
Alex reaches Trinidad, which is like once every
Yeah,
blue universe.
That's just
and then
that's just not
again with
right.
the AI stuff with everybody now using AI. Listen, AI is vastly outpacing human intelligence and security. I am honestly of the belief that we're gonna see T800 walking the street within our
You know the
lifetime.
joke about AI? Is the running joke about AI? AI's intelligence is based upon human intelligence.
But that's the thing. But it taking that human intelligence, training, learning, and becoming better somehow.
That's
And
us
I
dumb.
don't
That's us
understand
dumb. No,
it.
no, that's us dumb. That's us dumb. That's us
But
dumb.
but
But
artificial intelligence is no match for natural stupidity,
no,
Correct,
no, no.
sir.
Of course not. Of
right?
course not.
Human stupidity will always defeat AI by leagues, and
Yeah,
I
but
don't
no,
know.
no, we have AI being trained by the same stupidity as well.
Yeah. I think I was reading where a lot of AI being trained by Reddit posts, and if you
Yep.
know what happens on Reddit,
On
um,
Reddit.
is a little bit
No, but we
scary.
we have a certain very large AI being trained on Twitter. Well, X, sorry.
I would still choose that one over
Still,
over the general Reddit posts and stuff like that, right?
Imagine
But
you get one that trained on 4chan.
oh
yeah, that's the
Lord,
end of the world. Yeah.
yeah, that's implosion, right? Instant implosion. I don't know. This is something that I've seen targeting a lot of people locally with the fake
Mm.
Caribbean jobs in particular. I know of people who have been scammed because you're not thinking about it. Somebody come someone comes and they say they have the need for IT persons, or it's usually not anything too high end. It's something that can fit a lot of people that are looking for jobs. So you also have a lot of people that have been out of jobs, especially since COVID and stuff like that, may not have had contracts renewed, or times are tough, especially in Trinidad, right, where things are now getting back on track, where you're seeing some jobs coming your way and stuff. But now is the time in particular where you see the government talking about they want to have a boost in jobs, and especially for the young people, get them working. Now is the time where these criminals, and I mean that seriously, these criminals will try to exploit the everyone else and say, we have jobs in HR, we have jobs in accounting, we have jobs in IT. We just have to do a quick interview with you. And I know someone who said that they had to pay, I think it was $2,500 for uniforms and equipment and laptop and stuff. And once they have that, that's okay. You have remote operations. You pay the money and then that's it. They disappear. And the people that they liaise with, they do have Trinidadian numbers, but of course you never hear from that number anymore. You try to call that number, it's no longer valid. So it's almost like they have one SIM card per actual serious victim or something like that. And if you'll ever look at the SIM farms in China, sometimes it's thousands of SIM cards and little devices on shelves inside rooms and stuff. So it's becoming a terrible trend out there because they're exploiting desperation sometimes with people who willing to just take almost anything just to survive, just to get by until they could work their way up, or possibly get something better. So again, it shows the exploitative nature of some of these cyber criminals up there. But these are things that you have to look to once there's a trend with something as well. Once there's an uptick in something, it doesn't have to be good or bad. It's just, people are noticing something about a specific topic. Please be very careful when you're looking at communications, or someone even sends you a TikTok video. You have info stealers being embedded into TikTok videos and comments and stuff. These info stealers, when you click on some of the links inside the comments, they run malware on your laptop, your desktop, your iPhone, your Android, whatever. They try to steal the information that you have saved into your browsers. And think about it. On your browser, on your laptop and your desktop, you could sign out and close off and shut down. But on your phone, are you ever signed out of any app at all on your phone? No. All your chats, everything is still running. Everything is running in the back there. And everyone, for convenience, we save passwords and logins. Some people even save their credit card numbers because they don't like to they don't remember the credit card number and your security code and all these things. So it goes back to what we've been saying for all the past webinars across all the last 4 years at CFSI Cyberfence. Convenience goes against cybersecurity in particular. If there's something to make your life easier, especially password managers, I think this week I read something that all the major password managers are under attack right now. It goes back to where you might want to just write down your password. Please don't go and stick it on the side of your laptop or in your fridge or something like that,
On
right? But
the
you have to
keyboard,
be,
please don't do that.
yeah, you have to be very careful. If you have to write down your password, if I do have to write down a password, I don't ever write out the whole password. I know once I see a few characters in that password, I know what it is automatically. But not everyone might be like that. All right. So if you'll have any experience with the WhatsApp scams, Alex is actually working on a Caribbean WhatsApp scamming database or scamming database.
Uh,
If you want to tell us about it.
yes, it's Camelid Caribbean, so it's basically going to be a crowdsourced platform where people can just submit their screenshots, and it's going to record the number or the email address it came from, categorize it, and the launch page is up, so you can go visit it if you want to. But hopefully by
What's
November, it's up and
what's the
running.
URL? What's the URL for it?
Scam, scamalertcaribbean.com.
Scamalertcaribbean.com. Okay.
Yeah.
But I and
Yeah,
I,
so
I think
basically it's
honestly
track it.
we really need a something like that. So thank you very much. Alex is putting that out there for free for everyone. So make use of it.
Yeah, but to talk
Get,
on
get the
these
URL
WhatsApp
first.
scams, URL first. To talk on the WhatsApp scams, yeah, I mean the currency thing, it's starting to pick up more and more and more in the Caribbean because the currency is being it's in the eyes of everyone now because of that same desperation that she was talking about. People are looking for any way possible to earn or to get
Yeah.
cash, to survive. So when they see, hey, you know, coin, invest this amount and you get this return, the pyramid schemes and the Ponzi schemes are ramping up a lot. The worst of them, in my opinion, is the NFTs. The NFTs are the absolute worst
Mm.
because it's supposed to represent a quick turnover, but in all reality, it's nothing. You get nothing in return for a lot of these NFTs out there, and that is picking up a lot within the Caribbean specifically. I'm trying to remember. There was one point you had on this slide previously, Shiva. The last point. What was it again?
Like
Target.
a
You
friend
see
told
that
me.
last one? You see that last one? Radio stations in Trinidad and Tobago love to do that with their Instagram pages.
Yeah.
There was a year when Boom Champions, if I remember correctly, Boom Champions or Slam or one of them, they had this big thing promotion where they were saying your license number in the Instagram comments in order for a chance to win something. And people, so attackers now have your username and your car that you're driving. So when you couple that with like what Johnny was about with the PMIs to get your picture and then with the Sherlock to get your profiles and every way you can do it. That is instant identity theft right there. It's really easy to do it from that standpoint. But yeah, the Caribbean examples for hijacking. There's so much I could think about, but I don't want to call names to be honest.
There, let me just drop an example too. You have a lot of these
Okay.
crypto schemes, and it really is just a scheme, and they're using the AI
Mm-hmm.
deepfakes because I've seen it with the central bank governor, I've seen it with ministers. There was one with Marshall Montano, who very well known internationally. uh, stinger, but they try to tell you that if you invest maybe 500 US, 1,000 US, you're guaranteed to get back up to 5,000 US in 2, 3 months. And you're talking about different governors from central banks and different ministers of finance and stuff like that. So sometimes when you're seeing this and you're seeing those people endorsing these things, you're like, okay, because my mom was showing me one on her Facebook, and then she didn't click on it or anything, but I was just scrolling through and I realized they had just one after the other. Maybe because she would have probably clicked on one previously, and the algorithms would just adjust to suit whatever you click on once. And I have friends who fell for some of these things, and then I wanted to disown them as friends after this because after they were scammed, they went on Facebook looking for people who could help get back their money, who were also scammers, and they were also paid. And these were to local bank accounts. And they had to go to the banks and tell them, well, they were scammed by this and that. The thing is, the sums of money were not very large. I think they were charging like 2 to 3,000 TT. Um, which is less than 500 US, I guess, right? To recover accounts and stuff like that. So the urgency, I'm not saying that the bank wouldn't have taken it seriously, but the urgency, as if it was maybe 50,000 or 100,000, that would definitely set off a lot more alerts and red flags. So those crypto scams out there, please stay away from the invest and so on, get back. Maybe they have legit ones, but actually I think in Trinidad it's now actually illegal because someone I know went. I told them that they could probably seek some sort of legal advice on redress or anything like that. They went to fraud squad, I believe it was, and an officer in fraud squad told them that investing in these things are now considered Ponzi schemes, and these things are actually illegal. So that is another thing too. After you lose your money, you realize that what you're investing in is illegal. Do you now go to the police and be like, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I did invest in something that was illegal. People aren't going to do that. So they just cut losses, and then these people will just do what you call a rug pull or exit scam and take all everyone's money and say, well, the coin that we were investing in, the NFT we were investing in, the plan, the whatever we were investing in, it crashed. Right? That's how the market goes. It goes up, it goes down. What was the popular? They had one I think a few years back that was really really popular. I don't know if it's Cash something or
Cash
whatever.
FX.
Cash FX and a couple of them out
FX.
there, and
Listen,
everybody.
if you invest in a set amount of money and these people telling you you're getting a set amount of money, an exact number every week, every month, whatever it is, that is your first sign that that is a Ponzi scheme.
I think they even had some fake apps where some influencers, social media influencers, were showing people, no, look, I have 100,000, 200, $1 million in it, but that's not a banking app. That's just their app, and they were showing people that this is what they have and this is why you should invest. There were some people that to a point they opened physical offices because they were getting so much profit from bringing in new people that they opened physical locations. And then, of course, by the time the rug pull happened, well, that was too late. Everybody lost money, and I don't know. I'm sure everybody was threatened or something like that. All right, so just some protection strategies to wrap up. We have a few minutes before we close. Always, please, always try somehow to verify. Right, I would recommend calling a verified number. Look up for a verified number. On I mean, people don't really use directories, but we still have the directory online that I think you could visit, right? Websites. But the thing is to if you get a link with a website, you don't go to that actual website, right? You have
Mhm.
to probably do a Google search or again do a directory lookup and see what it is. Use please, for the love of everything good and holy, please use two-factor and multi-factor authentication on everything. We will go into this with a whole webinar next week, Tuesday, I think is the next one, right? But to for your WhatsApp, for your Telegram, for your Instagram, your Facebook, your email, banking
All the
apps,
grams. All the grams.
everything,
All the grams. Yeah,
everything
yeah.
where you are able to enter a username and a password. Please make sure that you have two-factor and multi-factor where you receive an email or a code or something like that that adds another step for you to verify because it's so very easy. Well, not very easy, but it's easier than you might think for someone to clone um your SIM card or clone
Uh,
accounts or have an email close
I
to
was gonna
yours.
say, yeah, I was gonna say avoid the SMS verification because SIM
Yeah,
cloning, and as well as if you do lose your number, then you can't get the SMS. So try and
Yeah,
use the apps instead.
and don't give anybody your two-factor or your MFA
the
code when you
the
get it.
codes. Yeah,
I have known multiple people who, someone messages them and say, yeah, I need your WhatsApp code. And it's because
and
they,
they
they
give it.
clone it. Yeah, they clone the SIM card and they ask you for the code and you give them and they hijack your account. And people need to understand there is no getting your account back.
That's it.
We
That's it.
can't help you. We cannot.
Thank you for that. CFSI cannot help you recover
Let's
your
help you.
Facebook and your WhatsApp and your Instagram. It's the same company, it is Meta, but once someone else ties your account into their phone number and
Themselves.
register that
Yeah.
phone number and registers two-factor authentication with what is supposed to be your account, that is it. That's game over. You cannot get that account back.
Yeah, Meta is gonna ask you to prove that you're the owner of the account, and the person that hijacked the account is actually the one who is the only one who could prove now.
So please look at your WhatsApp settings. We'll go through this in a whole webinar for those of you all who are not sure how to do it and what to do. There's a whole webinar coming up on this, right? But they could use all these things to carry out these types of attacks, which are ransomware attacks, AI deepfakes, the crypto schemes that I'm talking about. There's a name for that, a phrase for that called crypto pig butchering, which is where you have romance to invest and you meet somebody online. Hey, I'm invested in this. Please go ahead and see, what invest something with me. You're guaranteed to get back. This is what I got back and stuff. Right? So please pause, right? As Dave said, what think before you click
Think
or
before you
something like
click.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
think before you click.
use use
Just
some common sense.
use use your God-given common sense, right?
Common
God.
sense.
The Lord gave people common sense, and some people decided to give him back change. I don't know what went on
Yeah,
there,
that's
right?
that.
Verify via callback, not WhatsApp, not SMS, callback. Sometimes if you could do a video call too, but call back. You get something from the bank or a delivery or something, call back a known number, not just a number that was sent to you. Don't just click on call back that number where you got an SMS from or WhatsApp from. That is getting trapped right there. Right? If you think that you've been scammed, call the bank, cancel your credit cards. A lot of times, this is why I prefer to use my credit card than my debit card because if something were to happen with a credit card, they may cancel the credit card and do their own internal investigations, and then they tell you, okay, well, we realize that it wasn't you. The money has, been refunded or reimbursed because I think your credit cards are also insured, if I'm not mistaken, right? But they will do their own investigation. But sometimes, depending on what happens, if it's fraud with your debit card, I think it could take up to 90 days to run an investigation. You might have an issue accessing funds or a certain amount of your funds. So I'm not saying for everybody to go and get credit cards, but sometimes it's just easier to cancel a credit card. If you have to cancel a debit card, that is a lot more stress. Even if you cancel a credit card, they usually don't take the I think it's like $100 to reissue. You just call them back and tell them, well, no, this was one that they had to be sent back to you, etc. You should report the crimes to the police. You could go online and look at the cyber crimes and social media units for various countries. The CSIRT, which is the Computer Incident Response Team, all of these you could actually go ahead and report it to. Guys, anything to add to this before we wrap up?
Just one thing on the verification. Not only like the institutions verify with your people too, because someone might forward you the same banking phishing email or smishing attempt. And I mean, I say I get this from Shiva, right? I trust him. No, not zero trust, zero trust. Yeah, just verify because this could be somebody's account who was hijacked as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Johnny, a little quiet there.
I mean, as it's Friday, I guess to let this distract from the fact that Hector is going to be coming with 300 Civics with spoon engines. And he came into Harry's and bought 8066 turbos with NOS.
And Johnny,
And
this
what's
is
actually
why
coming.
this is why we're never going to give you up, and this is why we're never going to let you down. Johnny got
Just remember,
taken back there. Johnny's on a wonderful beach there somewhere in Haiti. I don't know.
Johnny,
So
where's that Chatham?
Um,
Flower
Flower pot, I
pot.
think.
Flower pot.
Flower pot. Flower pot.
With a matching flowery shirt too. Yes, yes. Johnny is
No, but yeah,
living
on
the
the serious
dream.
side, I would say that if you get a text message or email or whatever it is, and it seems to prey on your core human emotions, fear, love, whatever it is, that is going to be a scam. I mean, guaranteed.
So if Johnny gets a message from me 2:53 in the morning saying, Johnny, I love you, bro. He's probably gonna be like, yeah, this is a scam. This
Then
is
I get it.
I'm
Yeah,
not even, you know.
that's true because
The
you usually
probably
send
leave
them,
there probably.
you usually send them messages around 4 or 5 p.m.
No,
That's
but
right.
that's usually later on that is mentioned
Yeah,
at that
yeah.
time.
He go send them kind of messages that late, yeah.
Thank you, thank you. All right, so just to end things up, all right, this webinar will be uploaded to the CFSI Cyber Fence. What did I say? Click like, subscribe, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ring the
Ring the
notification
bell,
bell.
ring the bell.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really have many subscribers, so that's fine. But usually, if you thought it was useful and you want to send it to somebody else to have a look, sure, fine. You can find them here. We have two more coming up next week. I think that is Tuesday. Let me just verify
Yeah,
so I can
Tuesday.
tell you. Yeah, next week
Tuesday.
Tuesday is the one about staying safe online. So all the things that we spoke about with the two-factor, the multi-factor authentication, we want to look at authentication apps and stuff like that too. We'll speak about these things because I want you all to be able to go and help the younger ones, the older ones, the ones who aren't tech savvy. A lot of you all on this call pretty much tech savvy, right? But join us. You never know, you might still learn something. And then to end it all off on Friday, we're going to have our guides as usual with wrap up a panel discussion really on protecting the critical infrastructure of the Caribbean, right? So critical infrastructure, not just oil and gas and stuff, but lights and water, internet, these things. Recently, we had some fiber lines cut with Digicel, I think, and everybody was affected. So you have a lot of downtime. So how do we go about protecting this from attackers out there? So we look at some attacks and then see how we go about protecting them. This is the one that we have on Tuesday with staying safe online. My artwork just getting fancier if I do say so myself. All right, but these are some of the things that we're gonna discuss there, like social media privacy, preventing and oversharing. Not everything that you eat and drink has to be posted on social media. I'm throwing this out specifically for a young lady who is attending here. I will not call names, right? But securing your social media accounts, messenger apps, your banking and your email and stuff, this is what we want to cover for next week, Tuesday. All right. So on behalf of all of us here at CFSI and the entire 150 something of us at the CFSI family, thank you all very much for joining us. If you all have the need for any of the services or training at CFSI, please feel free to reach out to me at any point in time. Email is just info@cfsi.co. You can take a picture of this or just go to the website, the same website where you registered for the webinar. It's all there. So 103, y'all, thank you so much for sharing your lunch hour with us. Happy Friday. Please be safe. Remember that Angostura has raised the price of alcohol, so watch how much are you partying this weekend. They was not pleased about that. And stay safe. We'll see you all next week, Tuesday. Yeah. If y'all guys have anything to say, Hector. Goodbye from Hector. Where's Leslie?
So always
Where
use
we
NOS.
drink, where we drinking it.
All right. Yeah. Good chat, guys. See you all. All right, everyone, thanks for
Take
joining.
care.
See you all next week. Take care. Bye.